Hello, my name is Christopher Renstrom, and I want to welcome you to my weekly horoscope predictions for February 26th to March 3rd, 2024. The theme for this week is Triple Conjunction Cazimi. Wow, that sounds like a party. Well, it kind of is, and it kind of isn't. What we're talking about here is a very rare occurrence that's taking place in the skies above, which is called a triple conjunction. Triple conjunctions are pretty rare. They're one planet more than a conjunction, and one planet less than a stellium. So they're neither one or the other, but what they definitely are is impactful. They're very powerful when these three planets come together in the sky. Now, what makes this week even more significant and even more special is that the three planets will be conjoining each other to the exact degree on February 28th. So what are the three planets involved? The three planets involved are the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn, all coming together at the same degree in Pisces on February 28th. So not only do we have a triple conjunction taking place, but they will all be in a particular state called Cazimi. Now, what's Cazimi? It sounds kind of like one of those Powerball lottery things or something along those lines. Cazimi comes from the Arabic term kasmimi, which means to be in the heart of the sun. So in other words, you can have any combination of planets reach an exact degree of conjunction in astrology. But what makes them Cazimi is when the sun is involved. When the sun forms an exact conjunction to Mercury on February 28th, at the same time that it will be forming an exact conjunction to Saturn, this makes the whole thing go Cazimi. Okay, so what does Cazimi exactly mean? As I said before, it means in the heart of the sun. What happens is that a planet approaching the sun or just leaving the sun is said to be in combust. Combust is this idea that you can't really see the planet in the sky. And imagine, I don't know, one of those Bugs Bunny cartoons where the character is going through the desert and the tongue is hanging out and they're completely fatigued and dehydrated. A planet under the beams of the sun is said to be dehydrated, or it loses its energy, it loses its power, it loses its vitality. But when it becomes Cazimi, which means it reaches the exact same degree as the sun in the sky, all of a sudden, the light of the planet becomes resplendent and glorious. All right, so instead of just being fatigued and tired, it suddenly is in its glory. And what Cazimi does when the sun is exactly conjunct, and it has to be to the very exact degree, when it is exactly conjunct a planet, it uplifts it. It brings out the best of the planet. So what's the best of Mercury? Well, the best of Mercury is quick thinking, genius even, the ability to sort of come up with the idea or put together the clues or solve the problem like that. Okay, so this energy becomes even more powerful with Mercury in Cazimi. Mercury, although Mercury has difficulty in the zodiac sign of Pisces, what this gives to Mercury is a remarkable intuitive ability. It might even give you an ability to sort of remember a dream or to transcribe a vision or an image that you have. It might be one of those situations like Shirley Jackson experienced when she wrote the short story The Lottery, where she came home and wrote the lottery in one sitting. So it can be one of those things where all of a sudden that information or that image or that vision is available for you to transcribe. That could be something that could manifest on this day. Another thing that could manifest on this day is Saturn. Now, Saturn next to Mercury normally is a bit of a wet blanket. Mercury was the planet of thinking, and Saturn is the planet of tests, trials, and tribulations. It's also the planet of inertia and doing things slowly and taking a long time to accomplish them. The easiest way to think of Saturn is as Eeyore, if you remember Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore's famous line, "Oh, Pooh, it will never work." So that's kind of what you want to think of with Saturn. You put Saturn next to Mercury, and that can be a wet blanket type of energy. That can be very sort of pessimistic. Thoughts are leaden, apathy prevails, and there's this feeling that whatever you do is going to be an exercise in futility. but not when they are in Cazimi. In Cazimi, all of a sudden, the shutters are thrown open with Saturn. The light comes streaming through, and what you experience is the profundity of Saturn. Saturn was the planet of contemplation, reflection, of great thinkers. If you think of the Rodin sculpture, where the fellow's leaning forward and he's thinking with great heaviness and great soberness, this would be Saturn. But when you combine it with Mercury, the light thoughts of Mercury and the profundity of Saturn come together so that you actually have something that you can describe, that you're inspired by, and that you can apply to your life immediately. My feeling about this lineup, this triple conjunction in Pisces, is, well, the image that I get when I think of it is, imagine a snow, wintry, cold evening, and you're knocking on the door. You're very cold and you're very hungry, and you knock on this door in the dark. You don't know what's on the other side of it. And suddenly the door opens and you're bathed in light and heat. This is the Cazimi. This is the solar splendor, is sending its rays through the planets of Mercury and Saturn. And so what you may experience on February 28th is having come to the end of a search or a journey begun weeks ago. Hello, Gemini. One avenue may be closed, but that doesn't mean that you've been locked out of the game. You see, you were born under the planet Mercury, and Mercury is the ruling planet of prestidigitors and escape artists. If anyone can find a way in and out of a loophole, it's you, Gemini, and that is going to be your challenge in the days leading up to the triple conjunction that I mentioned earlier in this broadcast. As Mercury moves towards its conjunction to Saturn in the sky, in the days before that triple conjunction, you're going to find one avenue closed, you don't have easy access like you used to have, and that it's going to be up to you to think of another way to get from here to there, to get to the goal or the prize that you seek to win. Now, there is a way to get there, but this involves getting back in contact with someone whom you didn't end things on the best of terms. Okay, this could literally be an ex, or it could be an ex-friend, or it could be a sibling you're no longer talking to, or a workmate who you had a disagreement and you haven't had any words to say between the two of you since. If this is indeed the case, this is the only person who can help you get access. This is the only person who can help you to get what you want. So, you're going to have to think of something which has more heft than an apology, and you're going to have to think of something that's got a little bit more to say for itself than a goodwill gesture gift. You're going to have to think of a way to get this person on your side. Thankfully, you were born under Mercury, and Mercury is very clever about these sorts of things. What you want to do is identify how it would be of mutual benefit to both this person and to yourself. When you contact the person again, you do want to acknowledge responsibility for how things went down before. You do want to be upfront about the favor that you need to ask, and then you very quickly want to point out how this person helping you out would work for both of your benefits. This person will say yes. After the person says yes, and after you get what you want, what I want you to do is that I want you to examine what was the mutual benefit, how you both benefited from this venture, this collaboration together. And then I want you to give the person the lion's share of that. Okay. The fact that you're working to one another's benefit gets this person's attention, but then the fact that you then give this person the lion's share of what was done, that will build a bridge where a bridge had been burnt down before. And it also ensures that this person will be an ally and supportive of you in future ventures.